Welcome to Binging the Force with the Rocky Mountain Fan Force. Tonight we are going to be watching Mandalorian Chapter 6, The Prisoner. We've got a little bit smaller group this week, but a very exciting episode to get into. A couple of things I thought about with this episode. It kind of fits a couple different genres. It's kind of a heist. It's kind of a horror thing. James, which of those genres do you like better for films or TV? And which one do you think fits better for Star Wars storytelling?
I would say heist movies. As far as I think it fits actually best with Star Wars, right? Whether it's breaking somebody out of prison or stealing some stuff or something like that. I think Star Wars has definitely, kind of explored that quite a bit. It's a lot of fun.
All right, JT, you like horror movies, right?
I like a good slasher movie. I appreciate that. When it comes to Star Wars, though, personally, the slash movie's good. Heist movies are fun. I like the Ocean's 11 movies. I like a good heist movie that will bend the genre a little bit. Give you something unexpected. This is a good mix in this episode. I got to appreciate that. But when it comes to Star Wars, right? We do, like James said, we do get a lot of heist type plots in Star Wars, and yeah, I do think that it fits well in that general kind of sci-fi. But I think that needs more horror. There's that one book that they had that was the Stormtrooper horror book, like Stormtroopers were zombies or something.
Red Harvest, yes.
Yes. Had the bloody Stormtrooper helmet on the cover. And I really enjoyed that one. That was one of the really good ones that was totally different and that I appreciated from the now legacy novels, right? So, I think this episode's a good mix. But we need more Star Wars horror, man, right? Come on, Disney Plus.
Michael, did this episode make you think of any heist type films, or did you appreciate the little bit of horror elements to it?
I mean, I don't know if it made me think of a specific heist film. I mean, given a choice between the two, I'm not much of a horror fan. I mean, it's not a big genre for me. I definitely, given a choice between the two, it's heist. I mean, Rogue One is a heist movie, So I mean, but yeah, I definitely I'm a fan of heist films overall. I kind of like the whole planning, and I mean, even if you want to take it to something I don't know if you take it beyond even just heist, but to a group thing, even Samurai, Seven Samurai, or what was the war version of that? The Dirty Dozen. I mean, just even things where it's bringing together a group and then doing a group, military type activity and stuff like that. I mean, beyond just being a heist film. I mean, just that kind of gathering of the team and then, going off and doing the mission. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of that storyline.
Yeah,
a fellowship, if you will.
Yeah. Is
sorry, wrong franchise.
Yeah, is there a genre called team up other than superhero team ups? That we've seen with Justice League or with Avengers, that kind of thing. You see a lot of team ups, but maybe not as much in other other franchises, I guess.
Yeah, and I think this episode's good because it has those stereotypes of each of the characters. Yeah. One guy is the muscle. Another guy is the person who can get in tight places. Another one is the
tech genius. Yeah.
Yeah, the genius and the warrior and stuff like that. So yeah, makes for a good heist.
You get the brute guy who just smashes stuff.
Yes, exactly. And they don't get too fancy with the wording. They're he is the muscle. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's the gun guy. He's the door opener guy. She's the kind of just crazy rogue.
Cool. So if we were gonna do a heist, at least the four of us, what would be your specialty here?
I mean, obviously, I'm the man in the chair.
That's true.
He's the tech guy. He's our
Yeah.
I would peek around the corners. And then I would decide who should go first, whether it's going to be me or if I could tell someone else. I think you should handle this.
Yeah, there is that great moment. I mean, we'll get into the episode, but there's the great moment with Bill Burr where it's like, I'm going first, and Clancy Brown is like, you always go first.
I think Jonathan's
expendable. He always goes in the hole first.
Jonathan's the Bill Burr guy because he's kind of funny and
That's true.
brings levity to the situation. Cracks a joke when you need a joke. To kind of lighten the mood.
Exactly. And James, I'm sorry to say you're wearing a red shirt tonight, so you gotta be that guy. I'm just kidding.
The guy who gets shot.
Satan guy, yeah.
Storming the beach, the guy who gets shot first, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Hey, that's also the wrong franchise. But speaking of which, let's watch Star Wars, friends. So
okay, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and get going with what is it? Chapter 8, the
6.
Chapter. Oh yeah, it's our episode 8. This is chapter 6. And what's it called again?
The Prisoner.
The Prisoner. Let's make it happen.
All right. It's showing Mando squaring off against people.
Quick recap.
Yes. And that they're still in trouble. They're on the run. The intro here doesn't really deal with how they need money. Just that the whole galaxy seems to be after them.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the run still, yeah.
And we've got our slow.
If you're on the run, you need money, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yep.
I don't know how many times that was a plot in Kung Fu or The Incredible Hulk, but
Right.
I actually love
in
this
every
intro.
town and
It's
get a
really
job.
cool.
Yes. One thing I didn't catch on at first. This is the first Star Wars series on Disney Plus, but it's catered with the different Star Wars series. It's different helmets, different heads.
Yep.
For the opening.
Yeah.
So Mando's ship does work.
barely.
Yep. At the end of the last episode, was it Pelly helped get it going again and fix it up enough. Yeah, and the ship becomes a major plot point here.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the ship. It's not quite the character the Millennium Falcon is, but I think it's definitely up there as far as like something you become attached to,
Yeah.
Right. And we get to see a little bit more of the interiors of it again this week. So
Yep.
you're learning more about it being a part of the show. But you're right. It is no Falcon.
And this character, Rand, I mean, he establishes right away that, I mean, and in this opening scene, that he is just generally called Mando by people, which is interesting because obviously he's not the only Mandalorian in the galaxy, although, clearly their numbers are significantly diminished. But he is known in the criminal underworld and the bounty underworld as Mando. He's like the Mando.
He's got a reputation as being quite the bad guy.
Yeah.
Quite a force to be reckoned with, right?
I wonder if he is like the most popular Mandalorian, the most well known in the galaxy. Right now.
I think he's just more more outgoing. I think it's more that he's kind of put himself out there a little bit more and being very active as a bounty hunter.
Maybe it's well known.
I would say probably like that distinction probably belonged to Boba Fett. That Boba Fett, why he was the one that was called, to that gathering of bounty hunters by Darth Vader, to go capture Han Solo, why he was the representative Mandalorian, that, Boba Fett was the Mandalorian who was out there. And I think with the loss of Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi, Mando probably took that spot,
He probably had the best billboards as far as advertising his bounty hunting services.
He's the one that's on the bus benches. Yeah.
Good agents. Yeah.
This Rand guy that he meets, that guy was on Sons of Anarchy. I think.
Oh yeah. He's a great character actor. He does a lot of stuff.
He plays the rough kind of humble guy real well.
Yeah. And Batman Begins, he was like a detective.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
That's how I know him.
Yeah, no, he does a lot of stuff. Yeah, he shows up in a lot of things. But yeah, Bill Burr here is the first person on the team. So it's a team that Rand is putting together.
Yeah. I like that they start giving kind of Mando's background and kind of the seedy stuff he's done and the people he's hung out with. It gives him definitely some edge.
Yeah, definitely gives some history here that he's worked for this guy Rand before. That's why he called him in. Obviously he knew to reach out to him because he wanted him for this job, and he's assembling a team. Yeah, and so you've got these archetypes, obviously. So Mayfield here he's the Weasley guy. To put it in 18 terms, he's face.
He's the guy always looking for the angle.
Yeah.
Like.
But it's interesting too. Like, this is the most friendly that you've seen Mando so far as well, right? He's always been kind of stiff in these previous episodes, but here he's kind of loosening up a little bit.
Maybe he's kind of glad to see these guys in a way, because it reminds him of his youth, right? His wild ways or something. Now he's, carrying around a toddler.
We established that Mayfield worked for the Empire. He made a big deal. He was incensed at being called a stormtrooper. He was a little bit higher position than that, but he did work for the Empire.
Yes.
We talked more about the Razor Crest and
made a Canto Bite reference.
Yeah.
Right.
And then here, the great, the amazing Clancy Brown. One of my favorite actors.
So a different species, but his, I think, third or fourth go around in Star Wars, Savage Opress was definitely his biggest contribution to the franchise in Clone Wars.
And a droid, which I'm a little surprised that he was even willing to work with the droid.
Yeah, he does not like droids. He doesn't.
That there wasn't even a line, at least, or something of him saying that he just won't do the job, and then someone had to convince him to do it.
Yeah, they're very vague about like rules of how you can question who's on your team here.
Right.
It may be someone that's tried to kill you in the past.
Yeah, a past romantic relationship, right?
Yeah, which is interesting because they're pretty clear about it. I mean, they don't outright say it, but it's pretty clear that he and this character, played by Natalia Tena,
in the past,
have had relations in the past.
Yeah,
obviously, the helmet doesn't come off ever, but that doesn't mean the rest of it doesn't come off.
That's a nice visual.
That's an interesting way to look at it. He's not denying anything, but I don't believe she's seen him sans helmet.
No, it's clearly because he had said, it's such a big rule. We know she has not seen him without helmet. But yeah, so instead of having to picture him with nothing but his socks on, in this case, it would be nothing but the helmet on.
This is a great episode. I love these characters that go along. They're just all a bunch of backstabbing jerks that
right.
Well, it's a very similar feel to Rogue One, but with even more fun to it, because the stakes are not the fate of the galaxy destroying the Death Star. It's a simple, one job, one thing, break into a prison and take someone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like the design of Zero here, because his body is like Forlom, but the head is like RA7, like a Death Star droid with the bug eyes.
Yep.
It's a really cool look. And then the voice actor, I think he does a good job with the role.
Yeah, Richard Ayoade from the IT crowd. Yeah, you don't immediately recognize him, but yeah, it's there, and it's like, he's such a kind of a deadpan straight guy, but still funny in that show. And he brings that to this role too.
Sure. Yeah. At first, like the first time I saw it, I'm like, wait a second. Is it Taika again? Is this like another Kiwi voice? I'm like, no, actually it's British. It is a British droid. And I like how he's just such a smart aleck too.
Yeah.
Like there's more personality from this droid than you typically see from a protocol droid.
Yeah, it really almost seems like it could have been like an insectoid race or something like that, rather than a droid, Yeah,
that's what I was
looks so much like an insect.
You find out really quickly he's a droid.
Mm-hmm. So. But yeah, they established that the reason that they need him, part of why he called him is for the ship, is they want the Razor Crest because it's specifically a type of ship that, because it's an older Republic ship,
kind of off the grid,
that's basically off the grid. It's like a ship that Imperials or the current new administration won't really recognize or know that much about it.
He's gonna let that guy drive my ship? No.
Yeah, that's Even more interesting is the fact that not only is he willing to go on a mission with a droid, which he is. I mean, he wouldn't even, in the first episode, he wouldn't even get in one to take him from one part of the planet to another. Here, not only is he doing a job with one, but he's letting it be in command of the ship.
Yeah, I do like the inclusion of that line about how Mando is known as a good pilot, because that really doesn't pay off yet. But man, when we get later into the series, it's like,
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
kind of forget about that. I'm
He's
like,
very
how
good.
is this guy such a good pilot? I thought just hunting people on a planet's surface was his thing, but he can fly.
Yeah, he knows how to fly, but also but the other reason he wants him is because he's good in a tough situation. I mean, you basically, if you're going to go into a fight, he's the guy you want, next to you. One, he's got the armor. He's not going to get taken out really easily, but he's also going to take out a lot of people around you that you won't have to worry about.
I'd want him on my side.
So Berg's species is Deveronian, basically the devil. So you see one in the cantina, and then also, I don't know if anyone remembers the Richard Pryor show, the Star Wars bar skit, where they use all the same costumes from the cantina, and he's like, "No, that's a devil, right?" Because it is just the devil in Star Wars. So pushing buttons.
Yeah, pushing buttons, checking out the ship.
Stuff already.
Okay, we got a lot of weapons. We know the ship's full of weapons.
He really needs better locks inside his ship.
Yeah, he really does need better security.
Grogu there, it's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, clearly he's not used to people being in his ship a lot, because he doesn't have it really well secured.
No.
Right. It's the equivalent of having people over to your house and keeping all your guns in the medicine cabinet. Like they're going to snoop around. They're going to find them. So.
Yeah, and the whole conversation about here, Mandalorians, apparently they're the greatest warriors in the galaxy, so they say. Then why are they all dead?
It's harsh, man.
They
like to needle each other. That's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically we're establishing the relationships. We're getting a lot of humor. We're getting a lot of kind of back and forth and them ribbing each other. We've got her balancing a knife on her hand. We know that she's a fairly dangerous individual.
Yeah. Did anyone bother to count the knives in this episode? Like how many she possibly has on her person? Because I feel like it's like Legolas or Hawkeye with arrows. It is
limited supply. Yeah,
she doesn't go
throws a lot at one point. Yeah, at him.
Oh, and we get a Jar Jar joke. We actually get making fun of the Gungan accent. Like people at this part of the galaxy know about Gungans. like how far would Gungans have actually gotten out into the galaxy to have that kind of recognition? But but it's Bill Burr. We've got a stand-up comedian. Hey, let's have him do a Gungan joke.
Yes.
And Dale, to answer your question about the number of knives that she has as many as the plot needs her to have.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Bill Burr on this episode, they do actually give him a lot of funny lines. Like, for all the comedians that they've cast into this series, most of them aren't there for comedy relief, but man, he does get some really good lines.
Yeah, he gets some good zingers in there.
Yeah, and we know it's a galaxy far, far away. So obviously we're far back enough in time that they hadn't come up with passcodes at this point. It's like,
apparently.
I wouldn't even at least had a passcode on the door that Grogu is, or that the
fingerprint reader, or retinal scan, or something.
Some form of security, even just a 4-digit code. You have to type it before you can just press a button.
Up, knowing that all these shady characters are going to be hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah, he must have known they were going to take his ship. I guess they cut the scene where he goes back in and straightens up and picks up all the beer cans off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't even give them a countdown. He just dropping out of hyperspace now. And I'm wait. Maybe like a heads up. It's like, hey, folks, even before we started the podcast, I told you guys, hey, 30 seconds. He doesn't even give them that level of heads up. Like, we're dropping out of hyperspace.
Grogu doesn't have a car seat apparently, or something.
Yeah, we didn't discuss that the mission that they're on. They're breaking into basically a prison. And the prison is staffed, at least what Ron tells them, is that it's staffed completely with droids.
Yeah.
And
so James, that is the mission here. They're breaking into basically an alliance prison, or I guess what would it be called at this point? Because they're no longer the rebels. They're now
it's the New Republic.
The New Republic. So they're
yeah.
breaking into a New Republic prison that is
Yeah.
staffed entirely with droids, and they're trying to break someone out.
I don't know if this joke has been done before, but James, I think what Mando needs is to hold the baby in the front and a little holder. Baby Yoda Bjorn.
Yeah, baby.
You're welcome.
Baby Bjorn. Now, if it's a baby Bjorn that's made of the metal, a Beskar.
Yes, it's got to have Beskar metal because it's got to be.
Beskar Bjorn.
Beskar Bjorn, yeah.
I think we all could have used that one at one point.
So Mando here is used in kind of like the safecracker role, which is the first time we've seen him do anything like that.
Yeah, he's able to break into stuff.
He's got the toys.
He just can't lock his own doors.
Yeah, in this episode, he shows a lot of his technical knowledge because remember, he kind of takes over the ship at one point, the control panels. He knows kind of like where everything is.
And they just had the moment about that they're sending Mayfeld in first. That Berg says you always go first.
Somebody's got to do it.
She's got to be acrobatic.
He's like the stealthy person that's supposed to.
And he just drops. Not like that clang is not going to alert anyone to their presence. He's disabling the onboard surveillance, though. So they've got the droid in chair.
Okay.
And
Mando so far.
Mando just drops, but he does it elegantly.
Yes.
Okay, but they are setting it up as Zero is still like the wheelman.
Yeah.
And like you said, the man in the chair as well.
Yeah, he's a getaway car guy. Yeah.
Hitting all the beats of a good heist plot so far. Very nice.
Yes. And of course, as always, the job can never be as easy or as straightforward as it's supposed to be.
No, something always happens that they have to deal with. That would not be as exciting, right? Oh,
so is that the alien from Solo?
Solo.
Yeah, we get to see Ardinian.
Yeah, Ardinian.
We saw an Imperial officer there.
I didn't see that initially.
Cool.
And a really weird, like ogre type alien. I don't know what that one was.
He's from Goonies, I think, right?
I just watched that with my kid last week for the very first time.
Nice. It holds up. It's a good.
It really shockingly did. She enjoyed it.
Good.
I'd been trying to get her to watch it forever, and she just was not into it. And all of a sudden, she was open to it.
Oh, I love the mouse droid.
Just a little mousy.
Right. With the authentic sound effects.
Yeah,
little mousy.
Throwback. That's what we all want to do with those mouse droids. They're annoying.
You want to see like a big trap.
What do they do? Are they like a Roomba, or what do they actually do?
I think they're supposed to deliver messages or something.
I think we've seen them bring stuff from one place to another.
Right. They boost your Wi-Fi signal as well.
That's a cool blaster.
I was going to say, I didn't even notice that even when I rewatched it today that he's got this thing in his back.
Yeah.
Managed to get a third gun.
These droids are pretty cool.
Which still doesn't make him anywhere close to as dangerous as Mando here.
Right.
Yeah, the droid. This droid design is pretty unique. There's one similar to this on Resistance, but the head is just a little bit different. The
special effects in this episode are really good.
Yeah, but this is why you wanted a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously your team's not going to help you. They want to see how you do.
They don't even help out. I love how they just sit there and let him go.
And he's got to, we can't have an episode without him using the fire.
Yes.
That actually works this time, though.
Yeah, it actually is somewhat effective. It took out one of them. Not as effective as shooting a hole through the head.
Right. Why didn't they help? Why did they already be like, you got this?
They don't want to risk their necks.
Because they're scumbags and they don't want to get hurt themselves.
Because this is not a team of friends.
This is
this is not the Avengers. Good point.
Oh, they've been detected. I wonder why.
These hallways are very kind of reminiscent of The Rebel Runner, the blockade runner reminds me of.
Mhm.
And of course, they were wrong about it all being droids. So there's actual people, and Mando wasn't getting paid to kill people.
Well, this dude, that's Matt Lancer, right?
Yes, Anakin is here in some
The voice of
some
Anakin
live
in the
action.
Clone Wars.
I never did watch his series on NBC, the time traveling thing. Did you ever see that?
Oh, it's Matt Lanter there?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't even catch that. Okay. Yeah, I've seen him on a bunch of shows. I think it was like on 90210 at one point, the newer version of it.
Oh, that's right. That's another one.
Yeah,
He is-
Mando kind of shows us his honor here, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
that he's not the scumbag that he used to be with these guys, right? He's changed a little bit, I think.
Yeah, killing people was not part of the
Yep.
job that he was hired for.
Yep.
I bet he gets pretty lonely if he's the only one in the space station that's not a droid.
Yeah.
Right.
That would not
A droid or a criminal.
Maybe he's got Netflix or something to watch out there.
Right.
Maybe he's got a friendly prisoner who he lets out every now and then.
Oh, there you go. So it's not quite like The Shining. He doesn't go stir crazy. Just being alone.
I don't know. Talk to him in 5 years from
Yeah.
now. Yeah, it's
I
only
mean,
been a
he's
couple
shaved and
years
stuff.
of the New
He looks
Republic.
like he's bathed, so he doesn't, he hasn't gone all talking
Well,
about
working no play McStav and a doughboy.
Right. I think his uniform is a hand-me-down. It's not.
It doesn't look like it fits well, right?
Yeah, maybe he's put on some pounds too. Sitting out there and
Right?
in space all by himself.
It happens to the best of us.
Right.
It's like, I don't care. I will shoot all of you, any of you. I don't care.
Yes, the standoff, and then one more gun just added to the battle there from his back.
She did kill him, right? Or did she kill him or not?
Yeah,
They
she
kind of
because
don't
it
really
was a knife.
show.
Yeah, she threw a knife at
Well,
him.
but there was like a flash, so I didn't know if that was like a stun dart or something.
Don't press the button.
Was
Yeah.
that blinking before?
He did his
Not
job.
good. Things go from bad to worse.
Yeah, I wonder if shooting him, he still would have been able to press the button, or because a knife takes longer to sink in.
She should have thrown it into his hand that was holding it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
If she's so good, why didn't she do that?
These droids here, we see some of those back when the Jawas are selling R2 and 3PO to the Larses,
Really?
but they don't float around like that. So the floating is pretty neat to see.
Yeah, those ones
Okay.
don't either now anymore.
Right.
Muscle took care of it.
Yeah, that's why you have him.
Must have done it
Even
different.
Mayfield's like, yep, hey, there's a reason to have you around other than to just be
Yeah.
mean.
He's earning his paycheck.
Yeah, maybe the prisoners' meals are inside of those R1 droids or something. The way they, what else are
Oh,
they
yeah,
doing around the hall? Someone's got to bring them their food.
Yeah, so they know each other too, of course.
Oh, the plot thickens. Dun
Yes.
dun dun.
So he's got the for a Twi'lek, he's got the big bulging forehead like Bib Fortuna
Yeah.
has.
And I
They
guess-
don't always have that design, but it's kind of weird.
And now, do we think the plan was to betray him at that moment all along, to always throw him in there like that? Once he
think
found
so.
out who it was that they were breaking out, or was it because he fought them on the
Yeah.
killing the guy in the control
Yeah,
room?
I think they were going to give it to him after he basically helped them. I think
Yeah.
to a certain point, he was. Yeah, these guys are scumbags. They don't.
I think so too. I think it was a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
the
was to
plan was
betray him
all
once
along
they
to
got
double
from him what
cross
they
him,
needed.
take a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably figured if they got into a shootout, they couldn't just shoot him in the back. It wouldn't work.
Right.
So Berg was just supposed to toss him in there and lock the door real quick.
See, but Mando's in here, but he's got like all his gear still, right? So, like, how do they think that he'll stay in there? He's pretty resourceful.
Well, I think they just need him to stay in there long enough for them to get away.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out so well.
Well, he is a Mandalorian. He is
Yeah,
resourceful.
the Mandalorian.
He's dangerous in any situation.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive here. He uses the droid's arm to essentially pick the lock.
Yeah, I think this episode shows how formidable the Mando really is. He just improvises, and he's a great warrior. Smart too.
So that little twisty thing, the droid's arm, is it just like you push a button and it automatically unlocks? It does whatever you need it to do at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
R2 finds those outlets all over Cloud
Yeah,
City.
they use that in all the movies.
Yeah, but like...
I wonder
how
why
does
they
he know
don't
how
just
to
have a
operate it?
button, right?
Well, they use it in all the movies, but there's a droid or some form of intelligence behind it. In this case, it's just it's a lifeless arm that he's just taking the thing out and shoving it in there. So there's no actual controlling of the mechanism there. So yeah, Jonathan's point is, you just shove it in there and it just automatically unlocks it. You don't have to like intelligently control it or anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Only,
Speed of plot.
only a droid can sync up with the Bluetooth.
So now we're heading into the horror part, right? It gets real scary here.
Yeah, you get the red light.
They're in serious danger. They
Yes.
messed with the wrong dude.
I don't know. I didn't think of it so much as horror, but
It's I don't know. It's got kind of that vibe.
maybe it's the level of
You're
like
gonna get your
Alien
fill of
or
it.
Aliens.
Right, exactly. Hunting down one by one.
Sci-fi thriller.
Oh, right. Baby Yoda's still around.
Well, and he had just found out that the bounty on the head for it, so he's like, okay, I could get that bounty now.
So this other Twi'lek, Quinn, he was on the Rings of Power Lord of the Rings series on Amazon. That's the only other thing I've seen him on. So he was the elf.
Which one? There's a lot of elves on there.
Elf number 3.
No, I don't.
I thought you were saying that the character was on something else, and then you said Rings of Power. I'm like, what? Twi'lek on elves on Twi'lek on Rings of Power.
Aaron Deer.
Okay,
So he
the
has like
actor-
a little romance with some lady.
Okay, so that is the main elf character on the new show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
That was part of the story I really liked. Like that was cool. And
Yeah,
he-
no, I didn't realize that was him. That's
and he
very
tries
cool.
to take on all the orcs, and he doesn't have.
Yeah, no, that's
So if I'm understanding the plot correctly, so that guy Rand wants to break out this guy Quinn.
Mhm.
Who's paying him to do that? His sister? Is that right? Or like who hired them?
right. Who's backing this?
Who
Who's
hired?
Yeah.
I don't ran in them. I don't know if they actually tell us.
Should I not be
Maybe-
worried about that?
Maybe Quinn owes somebody else money,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, bust him out because he still owes me. He can't rot in jail just yet."
Yeah.
Because they've all worked
I'll watch
together.
at the end. We'll see if they say something.
Mayfeld has clearly worked with Zero before because he's got a little nickname. Just calls him Z.
Yeah, it seems like he's the one that everyone kind of knows.
It's not much of a nickname, but it's okay. It's as good as R2.
Right. He's got a even longer, like, droid name, that longer than Zero. And we've already had a Zero, Zero the Hutt. But I don't know. He's still a cool character. And
It does
nothing
seem like Mayfeld had worked with everyone but Mando, pretty much.
Sure, yeah.
Mando, come out and play. Those over 40 will get that reference.
What do you think of Xi'an? Her design has fangs. Like, it seems like that's not all that prominent in Twi'leks, but
No, but I love the character.
Maybe she filed
I
them.
love the kind of menace that she brought to it.
The things are like her character
Prosthetic.
identifier, right? Her prop for her as the actress.
yeah.
You get fangs, you get to hiss at people.
Do you get any Harley Quinn vibes from her character?
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that it establishes that Mando does have relations.
Yeah.
Michael, you think she's hot?
Oh, Natalia Tena, definitely.
Oh, I was thinking the character, but hey, wherever you want to go.
if you watched her in Game of Thrones,
As
Yeah,
right as
people are
Ocean.
into Twi'leks or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they use the Mayfeld uses the twee. He calls her crazy twee in this episode, which I prefer not to use Twi'lek. I like Twi'lek myself, but
Yeah.
to each their own.
Well, his plan was sort of working.
Mhm.
Oh, dang. He can't use his tiny missiles.
Right.
What do you call them again?
The whistling birds.
Whistling birds.
I think they've got about
And when in doubt, go with fire.
Yes,
That didn't
the
work, 'cause
flamethrower
this guy is Satan.
Fire on the devil,
Can't burn the devil.
doesn't help. That doesn't hurt him.
He needs a different plan here.
Yeah.
Berg in the middle.
Whistling birds have a higher success rate against like troopers and a crowd of people, but just face to face doesn't work.
I mean, throw a paperclip and you take out a trooper.
Right. Yes, this guy is the Brute Squad.
He is the Brute Squad. Yes, I like that.
Oh, snap.
And not the first time we've seen him use a door as a weapon.
Oh wait, maybe not.
Make you think of the Rancor, right? When the door comes down.
Yeah, and then
The good thing is the second door. Yeah, Berg thought I can't be taken out by a door, but there's a second door.
But it's not so gruesome that you like see the door like chop his head off.
I was hoping they'd do that.
Still Disney Plus.
Cool.
You have to make.
That's why I really didn't think of it as much of as a horror movie. I mean, I guess still like a sci-fi thriller.
One day, Star Wars will get an R-rated Star Wars something. So that'll be pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah, I didn't remember seeing that before. That third gun is killer.
It is.
Does it have a mind of its own? Is he like mentally controlling it? Is it AI?
Right.
Maybe it's connected with his hand, like a sensor or something.
Yeah, I would guess it's similar, probably kind of control to like when Mando was controlling the crash, falling by him, but we didn't actually see the control most of the time.
Yeah. Oh no! Please pardon our dust. We have technical complications here. So we have lost Michael in the episode.
Michael, are you okay? Did you get sucked into the vacuum of space?
He got taken out by a security droid, aka Lucasfilm.
Yeah, Davin's revenge.
They didn't like our jokes.
Oh well, that's pretty common.
Yeah, very sorry. Something happened. My whole browser blitzed out there.
That's okay. Are we back to where we were? There's what this looks like about, right?
That's pretty close, right?
Yep. Yeah, I love the flashing lights, and I always love this effect. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very horror movie right there.
How he gets closer.
Yes, he gets closer one frame at a time, yeah.
He's right behind you.
I mean, I guess that kind of counts as a jump scare.
Yes.
And again, it's an off-screen death.
And Zero is having a horror moment there. Where'd that baby go? Oh no. Scary baby.
Not the baby.
A little confrontation here. You killed the others. They got what they deserved.
Is he a six-fingered man? You killed my father.
So you see the bouncing Leiku there on his head. This episode was nominated for an Emmy for prosthetic makeup, but it did not win. It got beat by an episode of Picard. So
interesting.
I don't know what the makeup is like on that series, but
there's some good makeup effects. I mean, it depends on the season, but I mean, first season it was all Android effects, and second season it was pretty much all Borg effects.
Okay.
And I think, like, generally for Twi'leks, they like to wear something around their heads, right, for their Leku there. I mean, I understand it's like a makeup prosthetic thing, but in their culture, it seems very rare that you see somebody without something.
They wear something
around
their
they definitely have like
tentacle ears, things, or whatever you call them.
I'm gonna call them head tail shorts.
Head tail shorts.
Head tail shorts.
Oh, use the force on you.
This baby's got the force.
Man, this baby's. Oh, he's wicked. Oh wait. Oh.
Did I do that?
Oh, I did.
Yeah, and even he's like, wait a second, I can do that?
Not quite.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Thank God the baby's safe again. Jeez.
Don't trust the
You're putting him
droid.
in danger. It's nerve-wracking.
Just like last episode, right? When Cara Dune blasted that bounty hunter and you didn't know who shot who there for a second.
Right.
They fake us out several times on the series, yeah.
Yeah, so it ended up just him and the bounty, basically.
So, yeah, Quinn asked him, like, did he kill them? But he doesn't say.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we know that Mayfield comes back later.
Right.
Yeah, I love how they set up this end too. Yeah. You think one thing, but door opens and reveals kind of what's happened actually.
Hey, there he is. He's still alive. And so's Mando.
Yeah, you don't get to keep the ship now, Rand. So.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like that probably was part of it. That if the plan was to betray him and come back with the ship, that
Totally.
he probably would have ended up with the ship.
In his line of work, it sounds like that's the perfect getaway vehicle.
Yeah, not only don't have to pay him, but get his ship. Yeah.
Or you could chop it up and sell it for pieces. Saw some people welding there when Mando first arrived here.
Yes. Unnamed welder.
I did the job. The job was to come back with him. It wasn't supposed to necessarily come back with anyone else.
Doesn't have to split it.
Right. Did he have a little sock with money for everyone?
Right.
Everybody's cut.
Yeah, I'm going to doubt that he gave him everyone else's share.
Right. Yeah, they should get 2 or 3 times as much if half the team didn't come back.
Yeah, if he would be a fair boss, which this is a boss whose plan was to knock him out on the way.
Right. And even now, he's going through in his head, all right, I'm still want to kill him.
So we don't see like who paid Rand to bust this guy out, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if we establish it.
I guess it just Rand hiring them so he could get his buddy out there.
Now, is this ship droid controlled, or how is that supposed to work?
I don't know if he's going to get in it or not. They kind of don't show, I think. Well,
so
it kind of
Mando did betray them back.
Yeah. And trust no one.
Oh, a double cross, you say?
Yeah.
Double.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, you're not after me. You're after them. They're the ones who have the signal there. And Dave Filoni there.
Oh, that's
Our
right.
executive producer, Dave Filoni, creator of the show.
Who are the other 2 people?
So Rick Famuyiwa, he directed this episode. And
He's one of the pilots.
Yep. And
Yeah,
then
okay.
Deborah Chow, who directed, she directed
Oh, yeah.
Next Week, and
Yeah,
then
so
episode-
three of the producers and
Yeah.
directors.
That's awesome. I love when they put those little nuggets in.
Yep. And Filoni's character got a Black Series release from Hasbro. I don't know if there's figures of the other 2 pilots, but the character's name is Trapper Wolf, which Filoni is big on wolves, so I'm betting they got to pick their own names.
Gotta take the little ball off.
Yeah, here, kid, have a good time.
You can have the shift on. You just buy him his own, and then he doesn't have to keep taking
Yeah.
it.
Somehow
Buy him a whole bag of like shiny marbles or something.
Yeah, I could get different colors and get them from different planets and stuff.
He said, I told you this was a bad idea, but somehow I think this is not Grogu's idea. Mando's just being that, ha-ha, loving dad.
Yeah, so we established that they're still alive.
Yeah.
So he doesn't kill anyone.
Yeah, they're just unless in the course of a job, and he has to for protection.
Yeah.
He only kind of does it when he has to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of something honorable about that.
Yeah, not like he's a mercenary. Oh, I'm not getting paid. I'm not going to kill them. But just like his kind of personal code of honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great episode.
They're not trying to kill me.
X-Wings would take out those guys, but it was exciting when it did.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was a standalone episode. It didn't really advance things too much plot wise. But you do get some character development, some character background, these kind of character histories, and all these people, well, almost all of them are still alive. So maybe they could come back, right?
And some really cool characters introduced here. The really cool actors portraying them. Natalia Tena, Clancy Brown there, Richard
Concept art makes
Ayoade.
them look cool.
Yeah, and since they can't really do team ups with a lot of other bounty hunters, or it seems even with the other Mandalorians at this point, because they're all after him, this is a good way to team up, I guess, is other criminals.
Reminds me like the old Marvel team up comic book. You guys ever read those?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Spider-Man would team up with somebody else in the Marvel universe, have a little adventure, one-off adventures.
Yep. Yeah, it was Marvel team up with Spider-Man, Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing.
Yep.
And all based on the Brave and the Bold over on DC with Batman. But
Mandalorian team up. Who is it this week? Yep.
Oh yeah, Matt Lanter. There you go. Dave Filoni had those cameos there. Yeah, he's done a lot of voice work in the Star Wars world.
Yeah, most famously Chopper, right? Oh, you're talking about Matt Lanter. I thought
Matt Lanter.
Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly Anakin and Clone Wars and a little bit Rebels.
Yeah.
It is nice to see him in a live action role. Same with Filoni. I mean, I'm sure he was pretty excited to be able to put on an X-Wing uniform and have some dialogue.
It may not have been his idea, but he's definitely willing to go along with it because he's such a fan as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Whose idea was it to put an Ardinian in the jail cell? Do you think that was Favreau? Be like, hey, I know a great species that can be in our jail here.
No, it was Ron Howard, right? Because he finished.
I did want to show some of the actors there. Obviously, we got Bill Burr, who there's really nothing to show about Bill Burr other than Bill Burr because he's known for mostly being Bill Burr. I think he has done some other television, but he's mostly known as a stand-up comic, obviously.
Yep.
But then you've got Natalia Tena there from Game of Thrones, and then also from the Harry Potter films. So, and then the great, the amazing Clancy Brown, who is known for so many things.
Oh my God, I didn't recognize him.
Oh yeah,
with his costume.
Yeah, the Kurgan from Highlander,
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, the guard from Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. He was the voice of Lex Luthor through the whole DC animated universe.
Oh, okay.
It actually just got announced a couple days ago in the new spin-off off of the movie The Batman that they're doing based on the Penguin character, and it's basically all about the underworld and the criminals in Gotham. He's going to be playing Sal Maroni. So
cool. Nice. Very nice. Quite the cast of characters.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. It was fun.
Yeah, even though, like you said, it doesn't necessarily tie into the bigger thing. Like the Zero saw that little transmission from Grief Karga, and that kind of ties it into the rest of the season. But I'm really glad they have episodes like this because it's just a fun little adventure in the Star Wars universe.
Well, the first season was definitely built mostly around that. I mean, we had that first kind of 3-4 episodes that established the story, but then once he goes on the run, it's mostly standalones after that.
Yeah. I like that they bring in, the New Republic, what they're kind of doing. They're trying to kind of maintain law and order, right? Obviously, they treat the prisoners very well. They're not kind of like the Empire. Very different approach, obviously, because it's a more democratic type government, right?
Yeah. Just because we didn't see the torture droid doesn't mean they didn't have a torture droid.
Right.
Those big ones were actually torture droids.
The waterboarding.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point, James. I mean, for the New Republic, you don't really see much of them, right? So, like in the sequel movies, it's about the Resistance and a little bit of mention of the New Republic and their planet place. But you don't see like the structure of it or life there. I mean, this is the first time you even kind of see what a prison area looks like under the New Republic, right? So
you got to kind of go into the books, like Claudia Gray's books and stuff. Where she talks about Princess Leia and just kind of the struggles of still maintaining order out there, but trying to do it in a less heavy-handed way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, as far as on screen, we just haven't seen it because I mean, in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, I mean, we're talking 20 years there where the Republic is in charge, but we haven't really seen it at all. This show is really the first chance for them to show that on screen.
Yeah.
Right.
And we know that a bunch of the shows that are going on now are all taking place in the same time period because Ahsoka is going to take place in the same time period.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one with the kids and Jude Law?
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew. That's going to take place in the same time period. So we have the possibility of getting more exploration of this 5-year post Return of the Jedi timeline. So hopefully we get more glimpses of the actual structure and organization of the New Republic.
Yeah.
It's ripe for storytelling because it doesn't have to show OT or sequel actors and make them look like they did during those. It's when we do eventually see Luke, it's a post Jedi Luke, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it will be. I mean, it does set up the kind of difficulty of you can't show Leia, but I mean, she can just always be somewhere else.
Yes,
she's busy.
Right, and I think the New Republic at this point, I think Mon Mothma is supposed to be the leader, but that could always change. They don't have to deal with it until they specifically reference her, I guess.
Yeah.
But they've got an automated prison, so other than one guy, just one guy to push buttons there. So,
and it's on a ship, right? It's not on a planet. So I wonder what the difference is there. Like
labor costs, got to keep the labor costs down.
Yeah, property can be pretty expensive depending on where you are.
But it's like all the AI that's going to replace us, right? So it's cheaper.
Just
cool. Any last thoughts on this episode?
I think we covered it pretty well. Not referring to the episode, James, what's happening with Rocky Mountain Fan Force this week? I wore a.
We have St. Patrick's Day parade. A few of us are going to be doing participating in the parade with some other groups. Jonathan and I'll probably update the events tab with the information like where you need to meet, etc. Kind of running out of time to sign up at this point, but if you want to get on, try to reach out to us and we'll see if we can get you on the list.
Sign-ups are closed.
Yep. And then March 18th, we're meeting at Bar Louie from 3 to 5. March 18th, Bar Louie in Northfield, 3 to 5, and come join out. Go ahead and join us. And just kind of a reminder, we just kind of do monthly get-togethers, typically, sometimes in person and sometimes online. And basically, we just get together, talk Star Wars, get together, and enjoy some food with our friends, our Star Wars friends, and talk about all the Star Wars stuff that's going on. So please join us.
Life, just what's happening in life.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be as focused as something like this if you don't.
That too, yeah. We talk about a lot of Star Wars stuff sometimes too.
Not a galaxy far, far away. This galaxy.
It's this galaxy.
Yeah, and I forgot to prep for it. I think we should be really, really close and ready to launch our new merchandise store with Rocky Mountain Fan Force and Binging the Force t-shirts and hats and bags and everything. That should be information on that should definitely either be out online between now and the next episode or definitely by the time we do the next episode.
And once we get that info, we'll go ahead and post that up to the probably the Facebook page.
Yep.
Where you can go. We'll give you a link where you can go out and purchase the cool stuff that Michael's get together for us.
Yep. And we'll probably go on here next week.
All right. So we'll be back next Tuesday with Mandalorian Chapter 7, The Reckoning. So just 2 episodes left in this first series of Mandalorian. So very cool. So see you next week.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye, y'all. May the
Have a
Force
good
be
week.
with you.